We are living in a time where everything is fighting for one thing, your attention. Every notification, every headline, every short video, every advertisement is competing for a few seconds of your focus. And most of us don't even realize that this competition exists. We scroll, we click, we watch, but we rarely ask what it's costing us. In today's world, attention is no longer just a mental habit. It is economic power. Companies earn billions based on how long they can keep you engaged. Platforms measure your time like a financial asset. The longer you stay, the more valuable you become to them. Your focus has literally become a tradable resource. But here's the real question. If your attention has value, who is profiting from it, you or someone else? In this video, we are going to break down why attention is the new currency, how the modern system captures it, what it is costing you silently, and how you can take control of it. Because once you understand how attention works, you stop being unconsciously controlled, and you start becoming intentional. The world's most valuable resource has changed. For most of human history, wealth was measured in land, gold, oil, or physical assets. Later, it became about factories, machines, and capital. In the digital age, it shifted toward data and technology. But today, something even more powerful is quietly controlling everything: attention. The ability to capture and hold human attention has become the most valuable resource in the modern economy. Attention simply means focus. It is the mental energy you give to something. When you watch a video, scroll on social media, read a post, or listen to someone speak, you are spending your attention. And just like money, attention is limited. You cannot give it to everything at the same time. You choose where to invest it. Companies understand this deeply. Social media platforms, streaming services, news outlets, and advertisers are not just competing to sell products. They are competing to capture your focus. The longer you stay on a platform, the more ads you see. The more ads you see, the more revenue the company earns. In simple terms, your attention directly converts into money for someone else. This is why attention is called the new currency. It functions like money in the digital economy. It is traded, measured, bought, and sold. And if you understand how attention works, you begin to see the invisible system shaping modern life. In this video, we will break down what attention really means, why it became so valuable, and how you can protect and use it wisely instead of losing it unconsciously. Why attention became scarce. To understand why attention is valuable, you must first understand scarcity. In economics, something becomes valuable when it is limited but highly demanded. Water is cheap where it is abundant. It becomes expensive in a desert. The same principle applies to attention. In today's world, information is unlimited, but human focus is not. We are exposed to more information in a single day than people centuries ago experienced in months. Notifications, advertisements, short videos, breaking news, emails, messages. Everything is competing for your mental space. But your brain has limits. You cannot deeply focus on multiple things at once. Your attention capacity remains fixed, while information keeps multiplying. This imbalance creates scarcity. There is too much content and too little attention to consume it all. As a result, attention becomes a rare asset. Businesses, creators, and even individuals fight to capture a small share of your focus. Every scroll, every click, every second you spend looking at a screen has economic value attached to it. Scarcity is what turns attention into currency. When something is limited and powerful, markets form around it. That is exactly what has happened. Platforms design algorithms to compete for your time. Advertisers pay billions to appear in front of your eyes. The battlefield is no longer physical, it is psychological. And attention is the prize. How platforms monetize your attention. Now let's understand something practical. How exactly does attention turn into money? The process is simpler than it looks. Most digital platforms operate on an advertising-based model. This means they earn revenue by showing ads to users. The more time you spend on the platform, the more advertisements you are exposed to. And every advertisement has a price attached to it. For example, when you scroll through a social media feed, you see posts mixed with sponsored content. Advertisers pay the platform to show those ads to specific groups of people. If millions of users spend hours daily on the app, the platform can charge higher advertising rates. In other words, your time directly increases the platform's income. But it does not stop there. Platforms also collect behavioral data: what you like, what you watch, how long you pause on certain content. This data helps them refine their algorithms to keep you engaged longer. The more personalized the feed becomes, the more difficult it is to leave. Longer engagement means more ad impressions. More impressions mean more revenue. So when we say attention is currency, it is not a metaphor. It is literal. Your focus fuels an economic engine. The longer your attention stays captured, the more profitable you become, not for yourself, but for the system holding your focus. Understanding this shifts your perspective. You realize that every moment of attention has value, and someone is always trying to claim it. The psychology behind capturing attention. To truly understand why attention is so valuable, we must look at psychology. Human attention is naturally drawn to certain triggers: novelty, emotion, danger, reward, and social validation. These are not random preferences. They are survival mechanisms built into the brain over thousands of years. For example, your brain is wired to notice sudden movement or bright colors because, in the past, that could signal danger. It is also wired to seek rewards, likes, comments, praise, because social approval once increased survival chances within tribes. Modern platforms exploit these ancient mechanisms. Notifications are bright red, headlines are dramatic, content is emotionally charged. There is also something called the dopamine loop. When you scroll and occasionally find something interesting or rewarding, your brain releases dopamine. This creates anticipation. You keep scrolling because you expect another reward. The unpredictability of what comes next makes it even more addictive. It is the same psychological principle used in slot machines. This is not about weakness. It is about biology. The systems are designed to align with how the human brain works. That is why capturing attention has become so effective. When psychology meets technology, attention becomes easier to attract and harder to control. And once you understand this mechanism, you start seeing the design behind the distraction. The cost of losing control over your attention. If attention is currency, then losing control over it is like spending money without awareness. The problem is not that we give attention. The problem is that we often give it unconsciously. Small distractions feel harmless: a quick scroll, a short video, a notification check. But when repeated daily, they accumulate into hours, weeks, even years. The first cost is productivity. Deep thinking requires uninterrupted focus. When attention is constantly fragmented, your brain struggles to enter deep concentration. Tasks take longer. Quality decreases. Mental fatigue increases. You may feel busy all day but achieve very little meaningful progress. The real loss is not time alone, it is the loss of depth. The second cost is mental clarity. Constant switching between content reduces your ability to think independently. When you are always consuming opinions, trends, and reactions, your own thinking becomes reactive instead of reflective. Your mind stays in response mode rather than creation mode. Over time, this weakens decision-making and critical thinking. The third cost is emotional stability. Attention-driven platforms often amplify extreme content because it keeps people engaged. Fear, outrage, comparison, and validation cycles increase engagement. But prolonged exposure to these emotional triggers affects mood and perception. Without realizing it, your internal state becomes influenced by whatever captures your attention most often. Attention as personal power. While many systems try to capture your attention, there is another side to this story. If attention generates economic value for companies, imagine what focused attention can generate for you. When you control where your focus goes, you control your growth, your skills, and your outcomes. Attention becomes personal power. Every meaningful achievement requires sustained focus. Learning a complex skill, building a business, mastering communication, improving health, none of these happen through scattered effort. They require concentrated mental energy applied consistently over time. When your attention is disciplined, progress accelerates. When it is scattered, progress slows. Think of attention like sunlight. When sunlight is spread across a wide area, it only warms the surface. But when it is concentrated through a lens, it can ignite fire. Human focus works the same way. Concentrated attention creates breakthroughs. Scattered attention creates noise. The modern world trains people to react constantly. But powerful individuals learn to respond selectively. They decide what deserves their focus and what does not. They understand that attention is not just something to protect, it is something to invest strategically. And when you start treating your attention as capital, your life direction changes dramatically. The rise of the attention economy. The term, attention economy, describes a system where human focus is the primary asset being traded. In traditional economies, companies competed for natural resources or manufacturing power. Today, the biggest companies in the world compete for screen time. The longer they hold your attention, the more valuable they become. Look at the most powerful digital platforms. Their business model is simple. Attract users, keep them engaged, and monetize that engagement. Metrics like watch time, click-through rate, daily active users, and session duration are not random numbers. They are direct measurements of attention. The higher these numbers, the higher the company's valuation. This shift changed marketing completely. Earlier, businesses paid for physical billboards or television ads. Now, they pay for algorithmic placement. Content is optimized not for truth or depth, but for engagement. Headlines are crafted to trigger curiosity. Thumbnails are designed to provoke emotion. Everything is engineered to win a few more seconds of your focus. The attention economy rewards those who understand human behavior. It favors creators and brands that can consistently capture interest. But it also pressures individuals to constantly consume. Understanding this system is important because once you recognize it, you stop being a passive participant. You begin to see how attention flows, who profits from it, and how you can navigate it more consciously. From consumer to creator. In the attention economy, there are two primary roles, the consumer and the creator. Consumers give attention. Creators attract attention. Most people remain consumers. They scroll, watch, react, and move on. But those who understand the system can shift roles. Instead of constantly spending attention, they start earning it. Becoming a creator does not only mean making videos or posting online. It means producing value that attracts focus, ideas, skills, solutions, insights. When you create something useful or interesting, people willingly give you their attention. That attention can later convert into opportunities, influence, income, or impact. This shift is powerful because it changes your position in the system. As a pure consumer, your attention fuels someone else's growth. As a creator, attention fuels your growth. Even if you start small, sharing knowledge, building a skill publicly, solving problems, you begin to build your own attention capital. However, becoming a creator requires discipline. You must learn how attention works. You must understand clarity, storytelling, value delivery, and consistency. It is not about chasing trends blindly. It is about providing something meaningful enough that people choose to focus on you. And once you make that shift, attention stops being something you lose. It becomes something you build. Owning your attention, owning your future. At the end of everything, attention is not just about economics or technology. It is about direction. Whatever consistently receives your attention shapes your thoughts. Your thoughts influence your decisions. Your decisions determine your outcomes. So in a very real sense, your attention designs your future. If most of your focus goes toward distraction, comparison, outrage, or passive consumption, your growth slows. But if your attention is invested in learning, skill building, meaningful relationships, and strategic thinking, your life compounds upward. The difference is not dramatic in a single day, but over years, it becomes massive. The modern world will continue competing for your focus. Algorithms will become smarter. Content will become more addictive. The pressure will not decrease. That is why awareness is essential. When you understand that attention is currency, you stop treating it casually. You begin managing it intentionally. Owning your attention means reclaiming control over your time, your energy, and your potential. It means choosing what influences you instead of reacting to whatever appears on your screen. In the age of distraction, the person who masters attention does not just succeed financially, they gain clarity, direction, and autonomy. And that may be the most valuable return of all.